Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Josh and Jason Monday Christian and Conspiracy Podcast Show. I am your host, Josh Monday. And if you don't know me, I'm a Christian rapper, Army veteran, devoted husband, and father. And I'd like to introduce you to my co-host, Jason Monday. He's a Christian, devoted husband, and father, and about to be another father. I'm about to have another baby. Just like me, bro, actually. I'm about to have another baby too, bro. My wife's pregnant.
I forgot about that. I thought I was dreaming when you said that.
Nah, dude. So yeah. And then all right, guys, I'd like to introduce you also
Another girl, huh?
Yes, probably. Our guest returning again. Every time he comes, he does like a project something or operation something. So Kevin Reidler, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? What's up, Josh, Jason? Hey, Josh, congratulations, man. I know
Thank
I congratulated
you, bro.
Jason the last time, but
I know
cool.
we were just talking about it. So anyways, I just came off of a 10-day vacation from Punta Cana, man, Dominican Republic. So I'm glad we got together, guys. And we're going to be talking today, guys, about Operation Paperclip. So this is another operation that we got Kevin in on. And the Bible verse I'd like to go over today, it's kind of going to be lengthy, but it's kind of what just God put on my heart. I was reading this when I was in Dominican Republic, and I was like, you know what, let's do this. So it's going to be Romans 12, verses 9 through 21. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud. Be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, it is mine to avenge. I will repay, says the Lord. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. There we go, guys. That is my Bible verses.
Easier
I don't know.
said than done, you know.
It is. It is. I just wanted to express that, guys, because I literally was reading Romans when I was over in Dominican Republic. Every time I was going to the bathroom or doing something, I would just read this. And then this morning, I was listening to the radio and they were talking exactly about these verses. So I was like, whoa, God is like, you know what? I think he just wants me to express this to somebody out there that needs to hear that. And also, I mean, it kind of relates to Operation Paperclip in a way because these people were our enemies, okay, guys, and we ended up taking them in and feeding them and giving them high-powered positions and jobs.
It wasn't.
No, Josh. No, you guys, remember we took in the good scientists.
Yeah, it was only the good guys. But anyways, guys, that is exactly what we're gonna go over, dude. So it's gonna be awesome. But
well, I like to reiterate on your verse about doing what's right in your own eyes. A lot of people think that that's okay. They think, oh man, and when it says that in the Bible, you know, they probably did a lot of good, and that was not the case. That's bad. When you live like that, you tend to stay away from your faith, and you start, as you go, you lose your love, and your heart gets colder and colder. And it just kind of even though you're a good Christian, you still have that. You can still go back and keep backsliding that way. Good verse, man.
Yeah, it says, it says, be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. I think it's, if it is possible. So I think it's, as a Christian, when we're around other people, we need to make sure that we're representing God correctly so that we can draw people to wondering how we became joyful or how we came to the Lord. I think that's all good, Jason. Good stuff, man.
Especially just with everything going on in the world right now. It's getting crazier and crazier. I feel like everything's just speeding up. You know, it's just it's like a spirit of evil's coming on the earth right now.
History is repeating itself.
Heavy.
Because I talked to my son the other day. I said, "Do you have history?" He's 8 years old, and he's like, "No, I don't even learn anything about history at all." I'm like, "Wow, they really cut out history in the grade schools. So now kids don't learn about, you know, Indians. They don't learn about the Revolutionary War. They don't learn about stuff like that anymore. My son doesn't know who the first president was. He didn't even know who certain people were, and it's kind of weird that
it's really sad.
When you don't teach history and you don't you don't follow through that, you tend to repeat it.
Yep.
Yeah. Very, very
I was
true.
and I was talking this over with my buddy about Ann Jacobson, and I was like, man, she's a great journalist, man. This lady was I know we didn't bring her up yet, but she's a really good journalist. And it's hard to find journalists like that now that want to go the extra mile.
It's good. It's good to give credit, dude, where credit is due. Because some of the stuff we researched, guys, is coming from Ann Jacobson. She's a great researcher, and then various other articles and documentaries we kind of dug into. So just want to start out by saying that freedom comes at a cost. And I'll just say this, man, America, sometimes we end up bending the rules of integrity at all costs to keep the strength of our military and power. We want to be more powerful than any other country, even if we break the values that we stand for. And then what happens is we hide these actions by making the information classified. So anytime the government breaks the integrity we are supposedly following, the information or the mission becomes classified. And depending on how malicious it is how many security clearances you have to be able to access that information. And Operation Paperclip is one of those. Definitely. So Operation Paperclip, it was a secret United States intelligence program, which more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians were taken away from former Nazi Germany to the United States for government employment after the end of World War II in Europe. And guys, it was conducted between 1945 and 1959. And it was conducted by the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency. And it was largely carried out by special agents of the U.S. Army Counterintelligence Corps.
You know what I got from this, dude? You know what I got from all that? From
What's up?
And researching it. I feel like it wasn't about the Jews. It was actually about using them to test things on, and because nobody cared about them, nobody back over there, they didn't like them, so they just used them to run experiments on. And what happened after that? The Nuremberg trials and stuff like that. What happened with all those people? And I look at it this way: today is doing the same thing. They push through that jab, and they start making you they start testing on actual people. And now it's not the Jews, it's now Christians. Now it's people that are Christian, they're in Christianity with a strong faith. And now they don't want to take no jab. They have their faith in God, not faith in science. And now they're bidding us against each other, just like they did back then. They just make them wear a star. They make them have like a little pass around. They go around and make them different than everybody else. That's just weird to me how they're doing that. And no one even sees it. I mean, Kevin sees it. I know you see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We see it, bro. Yeah. There's a lot of people that see it, that they're just making it seem like people aren't woke, but a lot of people are definitely waking up, man.
Testing biological weapons on the Jewish nation. When they were doing it, they were taking them to camps. They weren't just gassing them and throwing them in an oven. They were testing them, and then the ones that died, they just got rid of them. That's all. They were using them as basically test rats and lab rats.
Yeah, and some of the experiments that they were conducting, dude, it went as deep as they would take twins, and it was like a nature nurture type of deal where they would just totally be super cruel to this one twin, and then the other one they would nurture it, and they would try to find out, what they could do.
Yes, to get ahead in science. To get ahead in science. They did shock ahead and everything else.
They did shock therapy, non-anesthesia surgeries. They would take tendons and out of like a calf out of a woman and place it into a male with no anesthesia. There was horrendous experiments done on kids and adults, and it's pretty disgusting. If you guys are down with that kind of stuff,
biological testing, chemical testing, testing like bubonic plague. All sorts of crazy stuff.
Let me ask you, Kevin, do you think that we got involved in World War II not to save anybody's butts, but to actually get these. We wanted these scientists. They were coveted people. They were super smart. They had some.
And I think because the United States saw the threat of the Soviet Union, and you got to remember too that we took about 2/3 of the scientists after World War II from Nazi Germany. The Soviet Union got about 1/3 of them. So it was all about trying to divvy up because during World War II, they had another program called Operation Alsace. And basically what that, I don't know if you guys remember hearing that, but
yes, I did.
That was basically determining how far ahead Nazi Germany was with their nuclear program, their chemical and biological weapons programs.
Yep. They're atomic, the biological and the chemical. Yep. Exactly. The ABC. Yep. And then the Russian one that you were talking about was Operation Osa Vikihim. It's very hard for me to pronounce, guys.
Right.
But it was actually October 22nd, 1946. The Soviet army units removed more than 2,200 German specialists, a total of 6,000 people, including family members from the Soviet occupation zone post-World War II. And they took Germans and they actually took them for employment for the Soviet Union. They told them that they're going to get paid the same amount that the other, comparable to what the other Soviets are getting paid. So the difference between these two, though, guys, is America. Okay, so Russia took these people and they just took the scientists and they made them like second-class citizens, and they made them equal to the Russians or below the Russians, like second class, right? But America took these scientists and they put them in, Werner von Braun into like
Nobel
a
Prize
position.
winners, man. These guys were Nobel Prize winning.
Yeah, they put them in high places and high employment, like Bell. What was it, Bell? Airplanes or something, Bell Aerospace. They put him like as a director position. So it was just a little different, the way that we treated these people and then Russians, what happened is the Russians actually took all the information from these people and they sent them back to Germany. Okay. Yeah. America took the CIA out there. They did Operation Dragon Return, it was called. And they actually took those scientists, broke them and broke them down, interrogated them to try to find out what the Russians, how far the Russians were with their V2 rocket program. So, and apparently, I guess they didn't really do too much for the Russians because the Russians just returned them to Germany anyways. And America was more, taking these people and putting them in high places and using their technology to the fullest.
Yeah, I mean, also creating NASA. One of the most famous was Werner von Braun.
Yep.
So the rocketry program, the space program, all that. So.
You guys got to understand too, Werner von Braun was part of there was like an assembly line for V2 rockets where slave Jews were actually literally worked to death, guys. So he was actually like the head of this assembly line for V2 rockets. The first V2 rockets, the V2 rockets were used September 6, 1944. 2 missiles were fired at Paris. On September 8, 2 more were fired at England. And they actually followed by like 1,000 more or 1,100 more during the next 6 months. So they actually used the V2 rocket in war, and they're blowing a lot of people up. But go ahead, Kevin. Sorry, man, I kind of interrupted you there.
No, and those V2 rockets, once the war was over, I believe like around 200 of them were brought back to the United States, and they used the technology with the scientists to start making bigger and better rockets out there at White Sands, New Mexico.
Yep.
Obviously the NASA space program got started shortly after. And yeah, it's just, technology went through the roof, especially here in the United States, really quick.
But where did they get the technology? Where did the Germans come up with that? It just doesn't get it. Hand it over to you. You just don't come up with stuff like that. You don't make those advancements without testing it on humans, without doing those type of things. So they were doing things like that to advance themselves farther than anybody else. We saw that and we said, you know what? We can't beat them. Let's just take them. There's stories that the Nazis still run this country. Basically, they have their hands in everything that they made. They're here. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's kind of crazy how you think about history does that, man.
Have you heard of the fraternity of Saturn, or the Brotherhood of Saturnalia before, Kevin?
I haven't.
It's like
No.
it's like a German magical order. It was founded in like 1926, but it's mostly they're basically worshiping Saturn. There's like 33 degrees. It's all esoteric occultism. I kind of found this out through Jordan Maxwell, and I was kind of studying him and he what he was saying. I know some of his stuff on the Christianity stuff I can't really listen to because he talks, but it's all Aleister Crowley and all this stuff, man. So this is the type of stuff that I've heard a lot of pastors say that's where the Germans got their technology, was just the occultism of trying to work with like, remember we talked about how they were kind of trying to work with like demons, and then there was also like the what is it, the there was another fraternity that me and you talked about on one of the podcasts, bro.
Well, yeah, it was the Thule Society was
There
a
you go.
German secret
The
society.
Thule and
Yep.
the Black Sun also, and
Yep.
and there was like two ladies that they were talking to that were actually able to talk to basically, like they were saying they're talking to aliens, but as we know, aliens are basically just demons.
Yeah, it's
But
all demonic.
it could have been the way that they got their information, like Jason we've talked about with Genesis 6, bro, like where we talked about in the book of Enoch, they're talking about how fallen angels kind of give man, weapons and war. That a lot of like this one pastor that I was listening to was saying that that's how Germany might have gotten their information and their intelligence was through the occult, talking to demons and stuff like that. So
I think that's spot on. In the research that I've done too, I feel like technology is being given to us in a way through I guess mediation through demonic entities. However they're doing it, I mean, I'm not, obviously I wouldn't know, but it seems like they're getting this fallen angel technology. I mean, how in the heck has technology gone so fast, in the last
100 years, or like 50. Yeah, the last
fast.
50, it has gone. Like they can, before they would try to take a rocket, like a V2 rocket, and they to try to hit a house, they would try, they would probably have to shoot like maybe like 4 or 5 of those to try to hit that one house. Now you can hit a damn pitcher's mound in Turkey, you know what I mean, with the rocket, and like just bam, like nothing. So yeah, you're right, dude. The last 50 years, it's gotten really, really crazy.
Well, there's a legend too that the Nazis had made a spacecraft, like an anti-gravity spacecraft.
Oh
They
yeah,
called it the Nazi Bell. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but yeah, it just shows you that they had advanced technology way ahead of what any of the Allies did, and the Soviets. And I think that was the reason why it was so imperative that the United States wanted to get these scientists over to the United States to basically use them to see what they knew and what they could get from it.
yeah. And it's crazy because if you guys, I was talking about the fraternity of Saturnalia and all that, and the Brotherhood of Saturnalia. If you look at Werner von Braun and his first, his first rocket ship or whatever that he was sending was that they tried to send off was, I think it was called like the Saturn something, man. But it's kind of the same thing, man. The whole worship of Saturn, like thinking that Saturn's like a god, and like Venus is like Satan, and it's just a whole bunch of stuff that if you look into it, it's pretty crazy.
They make you recognize that god all the time. Saturday.
Yeah.
That's that there right there. The actual planet Saturn. You look up in the sky. People they really believe this stuff, man. And you know what? They got visited by somebody. Somebody told them something, or it got passed down from generation to generation to generation. Because there's no man wants to conquer and move on, but there's no limit with this stuff. There's like our languages are not confounded anymore. We have one language now. We have the internet. We could find anything we want on there. We could there is no limits to what we can learn now. I could find out whatever I want right now, whatever I need, even if it's a conspiracy theory. They'll have stuff on it,
Well, look how they pretty much locked down the entire world within a number of weeks, during that whole, I don't want to get the video cut, but so
yeah. So maybe we can get into the scientists that received amnesty, that the Annie Jacobson was kind of going over.
Yeah, but these were scientists that murdered people, that were on the side of just decimating people. And then they bring them over and make them rock stars in our country.
That's what's interesting. So like, for example, guys, we have
Kurt Blome.
Dr. Okay, yeah, start out. You can start out with yours and I'll tell mine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Kurt Blome was he was a high-ranking Nazi scientist before World War II, and he was actually the deputy advisor, health leader for the Third Reich. So he was like in high favor with Hitler, and he was doing all sorts of like virology research, cancer research, and yeah, he was one of the top scientists that came over, and I can't remember, but he got some type of award later on from the United States Air Force, I believe.
One of the highest civilian awards, right?
Yeah, the highest civilian award from the Air Force for all his good, I guess, things that he did to help out the United States once he came over here. But during the war, he knew exactly about all the experimentation. He knew what was going on. And none of these guys were really held to account during the Nuremberg trials, which is just, history doesn't talk about that stuff. They just glance over it. And this guy, he knew exactly what was going on. So
for sure. And there was another guy like Dr. Otto Ambros. He worked at Auschwitz camp. I think it was called Bono, created synthetic rubber, which was something that Hitler was super happy about. He actually gave him $1 million Reich for it. He also was a co-inventor of the sarin gas. He was tried at the Nuremberg trials and released and found not guilty. And he came over Operation Paperclip, and he actually ended up being hired by the U.S. Department of Energy. Okay, guys. So put into a high position, like we were talking about, ended up probably becoming a really wealthy individual and, being okay over here. There was also Dr. Schieber. Schreiber. He was, if I butchered
he was actually, and I know he was actually captured by the Soviets. So, and I believe he escaped the Soviet camp that he was in and was able to come over here to the United States and get extradited.
Yeah, he had SS Brigade Führer, which is like he was part of. So that's like that's a higher up. He served in Reichsfelder SS Himmler's personal staff. He worked on concentration camp experiments. And then his Operation Paperclip info was actually hidden by the CIA because he ended up working for the CIA. So there was a Army officer general that was it was in his journal, I guess, and Jacobson was talking about, where he met with this guy, and then all of a sudden later on he ended up finding out that he was part of Operation Paperclip, but it was also hidden from him, and he was like one of the higher up generals dealing with these guys.
Did he write a journal or something? Got him like all
a diary. Yeah, it was like a diary.
So what happens when you write your stuff that nobody thinks you're gonna see? Like, oh man, where'd you get that diary?
Was Schreiber the one that testified at the Nuremberg trials against Hermann Göring? Hermann Göring was one of the top Nazi basically leaders. I mean, he was kind of like one of the right hand men to Hitler.
Okay,
I believe Schreiber did.
Was it him? Okay, I don't know. I didn't write that part of my notes, but it might have been.
Didn't they hang all those doctors and nurses and stuff like that were a part of that stuff? They okay. Here's the thing that's interesting, man. Like they
when they put these people through these trials, and they hung a lot of them and stuff, and they pushed, and they also had, like, in America, they were actually taking people like even like 70 years old or something. Like even people now, if they find out you were in Nazi Germany and you did these experiments, as long as you're not a scientist, I guess. But dude, there was a guy that I watched on Netflix where they thought that he was one of the I can't remember what the show was called, but they got him like in 1985 or something. He was already like 70 something years old, and they were trying to put him through trial and put him through. So it's just interesting. There's also like Dr.
Ivan the Terrible, I think that was it.
There you go, dude. Yes, that's exactly who it is. They thought it was Ivan the Terrible. It was just,
no, it was Ivan the Terrible. That was him, dude.
Yeah. It was just interesting.
You don't forget a face, dude. You don't forget if somebody who tortures you day in and day out. Those people walked up and said, "You're that man. I know you are." No, man. I am.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Change his name like to John Smith or something.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we got Dr. Arthur Rudolph. He was a German rocket engineer who was a leader in the effort to develop the V2 rocket for Nazi Germany after World War II. He was taken over from Operation Paperclip. He worked for NASA. He was, and I think he was one of the guys that were actually, okay, so it was the Saturn V. That's the moon rocket that I was talking to you guys about earlier. It's called the Saturn V. So I needed to tell you guys that. But he was actually investigated by the US government for war crimes in 1984. And what they did is they said you could stay here and we could put you through trial, or you could just renounce your US citizenship and you can leave. And he ended up going to Argentina and taken off. So it's like, it's crazy, bro. It's like, wouldn't they just, if they know that you were part of the war crimes, there was the only one actually in Operation Paperclip that they actually did that to, but wouldn't they just take the guy and just bring him to trial anyways? Why would they give him the opportunity to do that? You know, with the other guys, they would just put him through trial no matter what, you know? So
I was just doing my job. That's what they'll say. I was just following my orders.
Yeah. Sounds eerily familiar to what's going on right now.
Yeah. Just following orders, sir.
Just doing my job.
I think there was last one I want to talk about is Dr. Kurt Debos. He's the first director of JFK Space Center. So here's another space gentleman. He was awarded for the space program, and he was investigated while being approved for Operation Paperclip, where he turned over to a colleague to Gestapo for making anti-Hitler remarks. So the intelligence officer working on his approval said that we cannot approve this guy, but his higher ups said we need him, and they ended up approving him anyway. And he ended up coming over here. And he used to go to work in an SS uniform, you know, so he's a higher up for them, you know, and it's just it's just interesting, man. This is all coming from what we were studying. Very interesting stuff, man.
You know, I think Operation Paperclip, I mean, I know more and more people are starting to hear about these, these operations that went on during World War II and just, in the last 50 years. But I just feel like with Operation Paperclip, when I first heard about it, I just thought it was all about the rocket scientists coming over here and working with NASA. But I had no idea when I started to really dive into it that it had way more things going on with psychological warfare, chemical warfare, biological, the nuclear program, that was a big one. So
yeah, once you start digging deep, because the most famous one is obviously Werner von Braun, because you start digging into NASA and you start digging into like flat earth, you start digging into all this different stuff, and he's like the main guy that you just point to. But then you start looking and you're like 1,600 other scientists came to America, and then 2,200 other people went to Russia. Not all those people were scientists, and not all the 1,600 are bad people either. I'm not going to say that they're all bad.
No, not at all.
Some of them were good, but it's just crazy the propaganda that America was pushing on the American people, saying that these are the good scientists that were hiding from the Reich and not committing these crimes. And I think it's interesting how that's the part that we want to expose. That's the evil that we want to expose. First of all, it's supposedly supposed to be illegal back then for them to do propaganda on the American people. It didn't happen until 2001 that it was approved to be able to do that type of stuff. So it's just terrible, man. That's the type of stuff we would like to expose. The American government just coming in and just lying to the people about that. Because
the government batting 1,000 right now. I can't believe it. I can't believe that you don't trust your government. That's crazy.
Yeah. Who's that lieutenant colonel they just locked up last Monday?
Was it McKinley?
No.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah, he was.
It just shows you the corruption in the top brass of the military.
Yeah, he just wanted them to be held accountable.
Right. And he's locked up in the brig.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, you just certain things in the military, man. It's like you can't air certain things out. It's
Yeah.
like I can't, like when I was in the military. That's why I didn't start the podcast till after I got out, because when I was in the army, I can't do any type of things like this.
It's
You
like an
can't.
unspoken agreement, huh? Like you're not supposed to. It doesn't matter. You don't do it. It's like you just don't do it.
I waited till I was done, man. I was a sergeant in the army, so I didn't
But
want to.
you're not downing your country or saying anything bad about it. You're just saying, hey, man, this is just the truth. This is what goes on.
It's illegal.
I feel like
It's actually illegal for me as a military member to go out and, like, I can't jump on stage with Donald Trump and be like, I'm in the army and I support Trump. Like, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to stay all political stuff all to the side. You're not supposed to be able to do that type of thing. There was actually a guy that got arrested for that as well. Jumped up there with Trump, and he's still in the military. So it's interesting, man. Let's see, what else do I got here? We got some good stuff. Have you guys heard of Unit 731 with the Japanese scientists?
Japanese scientists, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing that happened, guys. If you guys,
that scientist, Dr. Kurt Blome, he was actually assisting the Japanese in that Unit 731.
Yeah, it's like
horrible experimentation in that
yeah.
In that prison camp.
Yeah, so that was it was officially known as Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department of the Katawang Army. Was originally set up under the military police of Empire of Japan. It was taken over and command until the end of the war. It's just a whole bunch of stuff. If you guys want to look into that. Do you have any stuff on that Unit 731, or I don't really have a whole bunch. I just
I don't. I remember seeing like a documentary on it a while back, but no, I don't really have too much.
Okay, so it's just like the researchers in the Unit 731 were secretly given immunity by the United States in exchange for the data they gathered through human experimentation. So I got a little bit of stuff on it.
This is a lot of human experimentation going on for a long time and still going on now.
Yeah, this one is more towards the bioweapon experimentation, the biological warfare program. It is kind of similar, like we said, to Operation Paperclip, where their scientists were given immunity in exchange for U.S. citizenship, and also, being part of our program.
We want all your inventions. We want all your knowledge, and you can go do whatever you want.
Yeah, it was.
If you can invent an iPad or something like that, they're going to keep you. If you know how to do stuff like that, they're going to make you rich. But if you don't do anything right that they want, they're just going to get rid of you. Look what they did all those. If you're gonna publicly hang a bunch of doctors and nurses during the Nuremberg trials after they got found guilty, you kind of look at it. If you're not hanging the main scientists, you're not going after the main people that their intentions were good but turned out to be bad. You just got rid of the people that knew too much. That's all you did. You kept the people that did it and knew how to complete the actual process of it. But the ones that applied it, they got the ones that got, basically killed on that part.
Yeah.
And the ones that were just, hey, I invented the atom bomb. It was, intentions were to be the atom bomb, but now it is. Now it's devastating as heck. But my intentions when I started this were not bad. So men's hearts, are wicked from the get-go. Even if you're good, you could be as good as you think you are, but in your heart, you are wicked, and your intentions will eventually be turned to bad. It doesn't, stuff like this doesn't go good ever. It hasn't gotten good. It's still repeating itself today, but now we're just doing it voluntarily. They just make us do it voluntarily. And it is crazy to watch people, how different people are now, how different they are towards others, and how divided they are. It's just, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Very crazy.
It's divide and conquer, man. Another interesting thing is Albert Einstein. He wrote a letter to President Truman, at the time of this Operation Paperclip. Einstein signed a letter to President Truman in 1946 opposing Operation Paperclip. Physicist Hans Bethe, another German refugees, wrote in the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists asking, "Do we want science at any price in 1947. So he actually opposed it, and he wrote a letter to President Truman telling them, that it's potentially dangerous to bring these scientists over, So he actually obtained citizenship before World War II started. Albert Einstein did, and he came over here and obtained citizenship, and so he knew what type of stuff was that they were doing over there before, so he knew what they were bringing over here, and then he knew it was potentially dangerous to bring them over here, and he thought it was a drastic step in the search for military power, which I kind of went over earlier. That's kind of what we do. It's in exchange for military power, like what, what kind of length do we go, and as we see, there's some people that are very power hungry with the whole 9/11 and all that stuff that happened, dude. Like if you look into that, dude, it's like you will see how power hungry and war hungry and money hungry and evil some people can be that are in these government positions, and that's just how we roll. It's like, we want to get that military power, but man, what are we doing for that?
Well, think about it. Anything that's invented now, let's say your 5G phone, right? So when they made 5G, when they started going, you don't think they tested this stuff on humans, what it would do to their bodies, what it would do to them? Okay, well, you know what? It may cause this, it may cause that. Okay, we don't know yet because it really hasn't been fully tested that much. So we're just gonna throw it out there and see what happens. So when you mess with the electromagnetic fields of the world, when you mess with things like that, the radio waves, when you mess with anything that doesn't need to be messed with like that, you tend to start making people sick. You tend to start making people, ill with this technology. So there you go right there. That's the point right there. They don't care. A soda was great back in the day when it came out. Oh man, Coke is delicious. It's so good. 20 years later, it's like, man, Coke causes osteoporosis. This stuff is it'll eat your teeth away. And like, oh man, we didn't know that was going to happen. But you still buy it. We still give it to you. You still drink it. You're still sucking off the tit of the world because some movie star you see drinks it, or some politician you see thinks it's cool. And then you were
talking about the 5G, like it's not only making you ill, like you're sick. It actually, low frequency radio waves have been proven to cause anxiety. Anxiety disorders, depression, makes you not be able to sleep. That's why I did a podcast with Dangerous World about this, but yeah, that's and they did those experiments, bro.
What about the combustible engine? Okay, they invented that. That's the oldest invention that's still used today that we have, that has not gone from, we've done electric cars, we do, other little biodiesel cars, but the main thing has always been a combustible engine. And what has that done? That has caused so much smog and so much stuff in this world. It's make people sick. Again, you messing with God's natural process. You start tearing down people's immune systems, and then you got people sick. But who has the medicine for all that? Who has all the stuff that's going to band-aid it for you, not cure you, but band-aid. It's like they win from both ends. They kill you with this, and they try to band-aid you and kill you with that. It's like
that. What you're just explaining right now is actually part of Operation Paperclip, which would be like the Rockefellers. What they did is they made IG Farben and the company that actually made the gas for the Jews, and Rockefellers,
pharmaceutical companies. Bayer,
now everything's petroleum.
Yeah, Bayer was a huge. It's still around, obviously, today.
These are part of it, man. This is all part of it. And Werner von Braun with this whole NASA program, I think he had about 127 Operation Paperclip scientists were actually working for NASA. So it's
a lot of smart people.
Yeah, there was.
Have you guys ever read what's on Werner von Braun's tombstone?
Yeah. Proverbs 19:1, right?
Yeah,
Proverbs 19:1, bro. It's which we can read real quick, just so you guys know, even though I've done it so many times on this podcast, because I love it.
It's all good then.
Heck yeah, we're doing it. Dude, we got brand new listeners all the time. Proverbs 19:1, guys. Is it 19:1? I don't think it's 19:1. What is it? Proverbs.
Yeah.
It's something about God's handiwork of the firmament. Hold on, let me see. I can just look it up real quick. Warner.
We're gonna say 19:1. No.
Is it
that's-
Proverbs or is it Psalms? Is it Psalms or
I think
Proverbs?
it's Psalms.
I thought it was Psalms.
It's
Yeah,
Psalms
that's what-
19:1. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Let's
ladies and
go to-
gentlemen, my brother is not a pastor.
Okay. So Psalms 19:1, the heavens declare the glory of God. This is NIV. We don't want to do that. We want to do King James Version. Sorry. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. We have gone pretty deep into all that stuff, so his V2 rocket program was also Operation Fishbowl, right? So they were trying to blow holes into the atmosphere, they say, but obviously that's going to be holes in the firmament, and it's all part of Operation Paperclip. You guys, if you want to study Operation Fishbowl, if you guys think about what a fishbowl is, what is it? It's a dome and then land is flat, right? It's a dome, and there's a hole in the top. And what the rocket was called, bro, that they used with Operation Fishbowl? It was called Thor. Okay, so it's like Thor's hammer breaking the firmament. That's what they were trying to mock God. Wow. So guys, it's very interesting, guys. Just study this stuff up.
And I know we've gone through Operation High Jump too, and that was all around that same time. All that stuff was going on then.
Yes, exactly. 1947 ish. That.
Josh froze.
I lost Josh.
Josh froze right now.
They don't like
I was going over
what we're
Job
talking about, dude.
38. Have you ever read Job 30?
Hold on. We're getting a bad connection. Am I here? Are you guys still there? Hold on.
There you are.
You're muted.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. I don't know, guys. Whoever's listening on YouTube, I'm not really sure if it's going to be continued or what happened, or if it just, but Zoom kind of messed up, guys, and we got kind of screwed up here. So anyways, as soon as we start talking about stuff that is like, bam, bam, bam.
This is the second time it's happened to us before. When I forget what we were talking about.
Operation Paperclip, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Operation High Jump.
Operation High Jump.
Hollow Earth, dude. That was the one we had to split it into two. Remember?
Yes, it was 2 parts.
Wow, and we just started talking exactly about that, bro. Right now, and it's
over the target, bro.
Yeah, we were right over the target. So that's another thing, dude. That Operation High Jump, this is all during the same time, guys. So we know we were doing Operation Paperclip, but that could have been the time that they actually found the dome. That could be, the firmament. That could have been the time they found that as well, guys, which we didn't mention on the Hollow Earth podcast. But I've kind of just recently rolled by a little article on that. But it was very interesting. Very interesting. So do we got anything else on Operation Paperclip, man? I'm let me see where I'm at. Do I got anything else? Do you have anything else, bro, on it?
For
me, we covered a lot.
Yeah, either one of you guys. I
just thought Ann Jacobson was very thorough with her thing. That was one of the best journalist type of videos, research, and everything. Just I loved it all the way through. She wasn't scared. She wasn't gonna stand down from what she wanted to say. Even people were telling her, "Hey, you shouldn't talk about this stuff. This isn't stuff you want to be talking about." This is the type of stuff that gets you disappeared. It makes the black van shows up at your house and you're never heard from again.
Yeah, Annie Jacobson. She's a researcher. She's done books on Area 51. Obviously, the Nazi Operation Paperclip. She's a great researcher.
DARPA. She does stuff on DARPA. Yeah. She's doing stuff on the Pentagon. That's her next book that she's going to come out. So guys, I suggest you guys research this lady, Annie Jacobson. She's got some good stuff. Now, what you guys are going to find out on the opposite end is there's going to be a lot of people that have grandparents or family members that were brought over with Operation Paperclip, and you're going to find out that there was some good scientists, and you're going to find out that some people had some hidden stuff that they didn't know about their grandparents that actually got brought out by Operation Paperclip research, and they find out, wow, I didn't know that my granddad was doing this evil
I didn't
stuff.
know my granddad was the right-hand man of Hitler. That's
Exactly. Dude, because what happens is there's actually photos of some of these guys shaking hands with Hitler. They got the gold medallion on that shows that you are actually like high up, and they didn't even know because all of it's been hidden. There was a scientist that actually was what happened was they put him in a newspaper, and they said that in the newspaper that he was was taken by the Soviets, and that he was a prisoner of the Soviets. And one of the attorneys that were fighting in the Nuremberg trials saw the article and was like, that dude is definitely a war criminal. And that was actually, that's what happened, dude. And the guy ended up being prosecuted and pushed into being extradited out of the United States. That was one of the parts I think I didn't get into, but it's just interesting, guys. So everybody listen to, start digging into this kind of stuff. This stuff is important. Operation Paperclip is so important because it shows you that, because usually what we are made out to be is these, we have integrity. If you go through all like the Army values, it's all stuff like selfless service, loyalty, duty, honor, integrity, all this stuff that we're supposed to be built upon. But then you start digging into these little classified, top secret, and all this stuff, and you find out that we're on the same level playing field as these people that we were fighting against, saying that they were so bad. I'm not saying that we're as bad as like the Nazis doing experiments that are really deep, but we do have like the MK Ultra stuff that we were into. We were giving people acid. That didn't know they were getting acid. We do stuff that's very, very, very bad and not acceptable to the public. Okay, guys. And it's all hidden through, like I said, classified, top secret, programs. And we are doing stuff to, as far as, waterboarding, interrogation stuff that you just would not want your kids to know that we're doing. That's just stuff that's just terrible and disgusting. So
yeah, anything that's done in the dark obviously is not of God.
Yes, it's not. And that's
secret like that.
And that's what we do. We expose that type of stuff. So this is all in line with what we love to do, is to expose that type of stuff and to show you guys that there is a positive side. There is God. There is Jesus Christ. There is people like us that are trying to fight for the good. And, it's awesome, man. So I guess we're done with this one. Let's end it in prayer. Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to go on this vacation. Thank you so much for giving the opportunity for Kevin and Jason to come on the show tonight and giving us the information. And also Ann Jacobson, if you could just bless her with, all the information she's trying to search for, help her to expose the evil, and Lord, help us to expose the evil and use us as vessels, however you like us to be used, Lord. Thank you for the Bible verses that you gave us. I just want to pray for our nation. I want to pray that you please help us with all these mandates that are and the tyrannical stuff that's going on with our government, Lord. Please help us to not have to deal with that stuff. And I know that it is end times, and whatever is your will, let it be done. Thank you, Lord. We appreciate everything. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Thank you, guys. Thank you again, Kevin. I really appreciate you, bro.
Thanks,
that was like drop of a dime. I just hit you up and you just jumped on. So thank you. And Jason, thank you, bro. Appreciate you, brother.
Awesome, dude. We should, I was thinking we should do a Bible study, bro. Like get together and then, pick a book, study it, dude, and just talk about it, If you want,
let's do it.
That's up to you. Maybe we could do another show type like that or something like do a separate show that does like Bible studies or something. I don't know. I'm trying to get something like that going on.
Let's do it, bro. We'll just call it, Through the Bible, dude, and all three of us could do it if you're down.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Expositional studies.
Let's do it, bro. All right, thank you guys, and we love you. And please share, subscribe, like, and everything that you guys can do with this video, because we need it, because we're being shadow banned. Thank you. We love you guys.